Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to another Top 5 Wednesday. Today's topic is actually one that is near and dear and goes back to my glory days as a comic book hound, and it is favorite non-written novels. So basically anything that has to do with graphic novels, comics, manga, audiobooks, etc. I can't say that I'm super huge on audiobooks, but I can't say that I'm super huge on comics and graphic novels. So, what are my top 5? First off, I have to mention The Sandman. I gush about The Sandman nonstop, and it's for great reason. Literarily, it is one of the richest works I've ever indulged in and gorged. It is so creative, so genre breaking, so game changing that I always recommend it because it's it's a comic book for people who love literature. It's not a comic necessarily a comic book for comic book fans. It branches out and it does something completely different and breaks down all the walls that you can imagine. But I do gush a lot about Sandman. So what are my other four? Definitely Watchmen. Watchmen. I was told it's the best graphic novel ever. And although some people might debate that, if it's the greatest or not, they can't debate its literary value. That they tried to do a movie of this, it's just madness. Because it is a story that is meant to be experienced in graphic novel form. And that's why it's such an important work, because it definitely takes that medium and pushes it to breaking point to do something that had never been done before, and to write something. Alan Moore wrote something that had authors going, crap, that's one of the best books I've ever seen. Not one of the best graphic novels, not one of the best comics, one of the best books. It is that powerful. And he also wrote V for Vendetta, which is also fantastic. It's different from the film, but it's also very good. But that's not one of my top 5, even though it could easily be on any other given day. If you're in the mood for ultra violence, I have 2 options. I actually recommended Preacher recently to the Big Book, and she was like, "Wow, that's too violent." And I agree, it is ultra violent. It is highly creative, highly engaging, but very violent. And the thing is that with me, when it comes to guns and violence, I like it in my literature, I like it in my fiction, I like it in my video games, but I hate it in real life. But having said that, this is a series that is so messed up. It's even more messed up at every turn, and in that sense, you just can't help but it's so intense that sometimes you just have to chuckle because you go like, "Oh God, that is so awful." There are no easy outs in this series, and anyone who eats it really, really, really does not have a good time dying. For more ultra violence and even more disturbing literature, I have a tie between Hellblazer and Lucifer. Lucifer, since it's derived from a character version of the character created by Neil Gaiman, I won't mention. But Hellblazer was also apparently created by Neil Gaiman. Was it Alan Moore? I'm not sure right now. But Constantine, if you've seen the series or seen the movie, is Hellblazer. Hellblazer is insane, and it is his the moral ambiguity and the moral gray area that he traverses in is disturbing, because you want to say that he's always going to be villainous, or he's always going to be chicken, or he does anything, and he is such a hard character to define, and because just saying anti-hero is so, it comes up way too short. It is very complex, it is very intense, it is very dark. So if you're not in the mood for dark, actually none of the choices that I'm recommending should be up your alley. I should have thought that through first and also have something light, but these are my favorites. And lastly, I've mentioned Chinese hero The Blood Sword from Jade Man Comics, but 2 other titles from Jade Man Comics are phenomenal and have to be mentioned. namely Oriental Heroes and Drunken Fist. Oriental Heroes is a group of ragtag rebels trying to fight for what's right. And the Oriental Heroes are in the middle of a ton of gang wars. And they have to either pick sides or fight with everyone. But the variety of the characters, the fighting styles, the art in Jademan, and just all series related to these wuxia comics are just phenomenal. Drunken Fist was, I think, Oriental Heroes had the better moves and the better storyline, but Drunken Fist had by far the better artwork. It is such rich and detailed artwork that you really have to see to believe. And their emphasis on weapons and exploring the beauty of weapons, that's what really drew to me to that series. So those are my top 5 favorite non-written novels or literary works. How about you? Have you read any of these? Do you have any opinions that differ from mine? Are there any light things that you would recommend so that all that I read in graphic form is not too dark? By all means, leave the comments below. If you like this, click at the like, click at the subscribe. And tell your community that there's a friendly guy on the YouTubes. See you later.